All right, welcome back to the We Call Bank podcast. We're shrinking in size every week, and we're having random people rotate in. We had Dee Dee last week. Dallas was the first week. Bradley's supposed to be here. Hasn't been here any of the weeks. And AJ just decided to sit out this week. But, I mean, he hasn't really been contributing much. But he said he was going to do some research. He ain't really done no research. So here we are. It's just me and Dallas. This was going to be a solo episode, and Dallas came through clutch. So first topic, we got Nuggets beat the Heat 4-1, 94-89. Now I want to start this off by saying, prayers up to Jimmy's father. We know we're talking a little crazy about him on the podcast, but we didn't really know about that at the time, and somebody brought it up to me. So prayers up to him. Hopefully he's doing well. And it never really came out if that was confirmed that something was going on with his father, but either way, hopefully he's doing well. All right, so I'm pretty sure I watched this game in full. It's been like a week, obviously, since it happened. It happened, Sunday or something?
I think it was Monday.
Monday?
Yeah.
So there's been a little bit of time passed, but, I took some notes while I was watching, and we got Max Strus actually contributed early, 3 out of 4, 8 points in the first quarter, and Gabe Vincent was 0 for 5 to start. So, that's not really – it's not what you want. And I have a note on here. Kyle Lowry is a pest, annoying Jokic, trying to get him to foul out. I know Jokic had a couple fouls in a row. I don't know. I think he ended with 4 or something, but I just remember Lowry trying to get under his skin, and they were fighting under the basket. And Lowry's just one of those guys that, to me, he just annoys me when I watch him. I think I used to like him, but the more I watched him, the more annoying he seems to me. And yeah, I got right on here, Joker, 2 early fouls and only 3 points in the first quarter. So he got in foul trouble early and they had to take him out of the game. So he only had 3 points. He had 3 points in the first quarter and 3 points halfway through the second, I want to say. And the Heat were trying to double him a lot in zone coverage, and it just wasn't working after that. He was literally just going through the double team and scoring, at will. You got Bam that finished with 18 points. Oh, no, this is halftime. Bam had 18 points, 9 rebounds at half. And Michael Porter Jr. was actually contributing this game, 9 points, 8 rebounds at half. And I got on here, refs were calling nothing. I mean, from what I saw, they were all fouling. So if anybody has anything to say that the Heat weren't getting calls and the Nuggets weren't getting calls, they were hacking on both ends literally the whole game. And then I got Max Strus misses crucial 3 to go up 2. I don't know how much time was left. I think it was under 2 minutes. And I remember him missing a 3, and then I remember Jimmy Butler turning the ball over on one of their last possessions. If he would have made it 2, I think he could have tied it up. 3 would have, put him ahead. And he just turned the ball over. So Jimmy no buckets. Nuggets win 94-89.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go backwards from what he was saying. The turnover for Jimmy, I can't blame him for that. LeBron just literally in the last game, he caused the turnover. Yeah, he caused the turnover at the end of the game that cost him the whole series. We can't beat up Jimmy for something like that. He's one of the best stars on the team.
Yep.
And you heard me say one of the best because, like he was talking about Bam, I had it wrote down something about Bam. Bam, he was just the whole series. It kind of felt like it was Bam's series more than Jimmy's.
Yep.
You can't say it's Bam's team because, Jimmy put way more throughout the whole entire playoffs. But Bam, just that whole series was just kind of outshowing Jimmy, and it's just I feel like you got a good duo there, but you got to give credit to Bam. You do. Michael Porter Jr., he definitely showed up. He did. He's been playing a little dookie for, how good he actually is. I know people like to comment on him not sharing the ball, him not doing this. He had, I think I wrote down 13 rebounds.
16 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists.
Jamal with 14 points.
Jamal was struggling.
Yeah, he's supposed to be second best on the team. That's okay, though. Everybody has decent games. Everybody has great games. Everybody has bad games. It's just like that. He had a decent game, 14 points. You can't blame him. They were playing. He was saying hack fest. I was saying, hey, great defense.
Fouling, dog. They were fouling.
Here's how I look at it. The final score was what? 94.
That's how you know they were fouling because there wasn't nobody getting free throws.
Exactly. If you get in a finals game, not just a regular game. Regular game, people don't try, people don't care. If you get in a finals game, the very ending, this could end the finals, and you don't put up 100 points as a team, that's how you know there was defense or fouls. It was one of the other.
They just weren't getting called, I promise.
Yeah, and then K Love, where is he at? He had, I think, he had like 3 points.
He's in the retirement home.
Yeah, I mean, come on, K Love. We got to do a little bit better than that. I mean, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be him. I know you're getting old though. I do know you're getting old, but it's just, they put you on the team for a reason. They already have Haslam if they just want someone to sit the bench. I mean,
yeah.
you got to do something more than 3 points. You got to, show up. Especially in a game like that. You've already been to the finals. You know what that atmosphere is. You know what to bring, and you just didn't. So, I mean, the Heat just they were a good team. They easily could have, made this closer. I didn't see them winning. I did call in the first episode that it would probably be 4-1.
Yep,
but
did.
I didn't see them winning. But I'm glad they put up a fight. I'm glad they at least won one and made it a little interesting. But yeah, some people just need to show up a little bit more than other people. Gabe Vincent, I mean, he did show up a few games, did a few things, but, that game just wasn't his game. Max, I think he had 12 points, he said, something like that. I don't know.
I know he had 8 or so. He was like 3 for 4 in the first quarter, so I don't know how many he ended with, but I know he got him started. So
yeah, so, I mean, he's a good addition. I don't know, if we could put him as a starter, once you get a finalized team like that. But he's a good addition to the team. He reminds me of like a Alex Caruso, someone come in, change the game, do something. But I mean, yeah. Alex Caruso is a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like you
defensively, offensively, yeah, athleticism, defense.
But yeah, I mean that's just how I feel about it. I'm glad Joker got him a ring. I mean, he deserved it, especially after getting snubbed from MVP. Definitely should have got that, and y'all know how I feel about that. Joel did not deserve that. He's definitely second. He's definitely second. We'll say that, but he didn't deserve it over Joker.
Yeah, so Jokic did get final MVP, obviously. I mean, who else was going to get it? Finished with 28 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists on 12 of 16. That's really efficient. And Michael Porter Jr., 7 for 17. Obviously, I just said 16 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. They needed him. Murray wasn't playing well. Michael Porter showed up. And Jimmy, 5 for 18. Jimmy didn't play that well, but I mean, with all the stuff he's got going on off the court, it makes sense. His head, his mind's probably not in the game right now. So it's understandable, and his teammates didn't help him, to say the least. Some of them came through a little bit more this game, but in the rest of the other games, I mean, like I said, we had Caleb Martin dropping 3 points in a couple games. Strus going over 5. That's just not going to cut it. He needs some other star, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. If they're going to try to recruit anyone. I saw some crazy post that said there's some way that they can get Bradley Beal and I don't know if it was Bradley Beal and Zion or Bradley Beal and I can't remember what the post was, but they were saying they could get Bradley Beal and somebody else and keep Bam and Jimmy, and I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from, but there's no way they can get 2 superstars and not lose Jimmy or Bam. It just the money, the player, they don't have good enough players. I don't know if they're overvaluing Caleb Martin and Strus and all of them, but they're not getting you those players. I don't know what kind of draft picks and stuff they have, but either way, there's no way they're getting 2 all-star caliber players with keeping Bam and Jimmy. I just don't see it. This is the next topic. I know it was Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal that they said they could both get and keep them. There's no way. One, Bill is on a max contract. Lillard, I think, is still on part of his contract, which obviously probably isn't a max like Bill's was. But no, there's no way. But I have who the Heat should add. I do think they could possibly get Lillard or Bradley Beal. Bill wants to leave, and he's just signed the 5-year deal last year, so they still owe him a lot of money. And Lillard, like I said, I don't know how many years he has left on his deal, but I mean, either one of those players would probably put them over the edge. But who are they going to lose in the offseason? Hero, I think they tried to. I don't know if he started the whole season. I know in the offseason last year, they were, Hero was saying that he wanted to be a starter, and I don't know if they went through with that and let him start, at the beginning of the season. But I know he wasn't playing too well when he was playing at the beginning of the season. So coming off the bench, I don't know. Maybe that's his role. Maybe not. Maybe he'll have a better year this year. But I'm pretty sure he didn't start off too well. So
yeah, For me, and it's someone that I think it was either the week I was here or the week Didi was here that we talked about. I was looking at, I just feel like the Heat is one of those teams that are, they don't have amazing superstars on them, but they have the right system around them to make them succeed. And that's what got them to the finals. I don't feel like they should be giving anybody up. I don't want them to trade anybody. So I feel like they should sign off the free agency, and Kyrie would be a good addition. Gabe Vincent, like I said, he's just not. You got to have someone that's consistent. You just do. And at the end of the day, I know Kyrie wants to play with superstars. At the end of the day, this is a finals team. They just made it to the finals. You got Bam and Jimmy both.
Yeah, I'm sure he considers them superstars.
And I mean that would make a great team. You know what I mean? None of them are really that selfish. They all kind of like to share the ball. I feel like he would do good. K Love, I feel like we should be replacing him with Kristaps, signing Kristaps. But then again, I mean,
is he gonna be an actual free agent or what?
Yeah, it said he's supposed to be a free agent. I looked up the free agents to see who all I thought should be signed, and those were the only two I could really feel like. Because someone like James Harden, I just don't feel like he's going anywhere. I feel like he's going back to the 76ers.
I mean, if he's going anywhere, Miami.
Oh yeah,
calling his name. But I wrote down Tyler Hero is if some kind of trade for Bill Lillard, any of these stars happen, I feel like he has to be in the trade because who else would they really want? I mean, Duncan would be a good piece for somebody that needs a shooting forward, I guess. But I mean, Hero is really the only asset that they have outside of Bam, and I don't see them getting rid of Bam or Jimmy. That's like their staples. So. Like I said, I think if they do make a trade, I think Hero is probably gone. I don't know where they go. Maybe they just, try to run it back and, like he said, add some smaller pieces from free agency. I don't really know what they need. I feel like they need – Hero can be that offensive weapon that you need, but I don't know. He's got to get to the point where he's dropping 25 a game consistently if they're going to get to that next level, in my opinion. But –
it's a matter. They have defense. They do have defense. It's just a matter of offense consistency, and you just got to have scorers out there, like legit scorers, like people that. Two-way players are great. Everything like that. Playmakers are great, but you got to have straight scorers out there to be able to beat someone like the Joker or beat someone like that, you know what I mean? Which they did run through the whole entire playoffs just smacking and whacking. I don't know. I feel like they do need someone like Kyrie. They do need a big man like Kristaps, 7-footer, someone to be there, someone that also can shoot threes, score for you. Just someone like that. I feel like they get that. They had the perfect team, just kind of like the Nuggets do. They have, Joker's 6'11", but at the end of the day, he's still scoring on anybody he want to score on. And you can be 6'11".
He's big.
Yeah.
All right, so had some technical difficulties, but we're back. Damian Lillard, Zion, Bradley Beal, and Levine earlier today. It seems like all of these pieces are maybe traded. I didn't have Levine wrote on it because it kind of just came out today, but all these players are kind of Zion. Let me start off with Zion. I don't see anyone wanting Zion. How many games has he played in the last 3 years? I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Didn't he? I don't know if he got voted All-Star this year or last year. Don't even know how that worked, how that happened. But sure, he's a great talent. But if he's not going to be on the court, I don't see any team wanting to trade for him unless they're trading pennies. So I don't see the Pelicans moving him, and like I said, unless it's for like some kind of draft capital or something like that. But I don't really see any team wanting him. He's not going to be on the floor more than 20 games, maybe a season. So I could be wrong. Maybe he's been healed, and whatever team he goes to next, he's going to dominate, and I'll eat my words. But I don't see any team wanting him. And then Lillard and Bill, I feel like the teams that are in on these guys are in on both of them. I feel like teams are probably trying to get either or because they're both going to add offense. Obviously, Bill's younger, so they'd probably rather have Bill. But Heat I got for both of them. Knicks, I think, is a potential for both of them. Bucks, I don't know what kind of money, how that would work, but I mean, I feel like Lillard probably wants to go somewhere he can win. Obviously, Bill's been on the Wizards losing his whole career, so he probably wants to go somewhere he can win. And then the last one, Pelicans, is on here, which, I mean, maybe that's something with a Zion deal. Like, maybe the Trailblazers and the Wizards can't get a good deal, and, like, Zion is something to take a chance on. I mean, either one of those guys, pair him with Brandon Ingram, I think that's a pretty good fit. So those are my 4 teams. What are you thinking?
Mine's more of kind of feelings. Like Damian, I don't see him going anywhere. I've seen everything that he's been, posting and saying on the lives, and I've seen that. I'm sorry. Here's my problem with players like that. It's just like Tom Brady. Whenever he was, winning with the Patriots. Here's my thing. I feel like if you're gonna, be with a team for so long, you stay with that team at that point. I mean, I understand, going in wanting to request a trade within the first 4 or 5 years. I understand that. But if you're with a team for more than 6 or 7 years, just stay with that team. I mean, Tom Brady, he was with that team for like this man Tom Brady was just he won 6 championships with the Patriots. Why would you tarnish that by going to the Bucks? And I mean, he made up
if
for
if he didn't win a bowl, then it's like, okay, what was the point? But he did go win
like
one.
Julio. That's how I feel. But I know that's a shot, kind of at Bradley and kind of at Joey. But Julio, I mean, it's just like
I got that.
He just
take no shots at it.
Here's my thing with Julio. It's the same thing. Like you were amazing at Atlanta, and then you just kind of wanted to go somewhere else, and you just kind of tarnish your legacy just a little bit by kind of doing that because you didn't
I feel
do
that way
good.
a little bit.
And
he was going through all kinds of injuries at this point, and he was pretty much on the downward slope, and we probably would have just finished his contract out and probably let him walk is more than likely what would have happened because he probably played 6 games in the last 2 years. So, I mean, I would have been fine with that, let the contract run out and, let him go on his way. But, I mean,
here's my thing. Damian Lillard, like I was saying just about that, it just, I don't like people staying at a team for so long and then after so long, and I understand he deserves a ring. He truly does. He does. He's the king of that team. He does deserve a ring, but I just feel like he should stay, and I feel like, honestly, if we're being real, he's probably going to stay. Pelicans, open to trading Zion. I feel like they absolutely should do it. I mean, they have B.I. there still. They have a few good players. Jose,
Alvarado,
he's all right. I mean, I wouldn't put them as top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 point guards, but they have a few good players. They could trade Zion. I feel like they should trade Zion. They could still.
I mean, they made the playoffs, so
I
feel
feel
play
like
in.
And the thing with Zion is the reason he got selected to All-Star is because at the start, even after the injuries and all that, he still was performing great. So I mean, I feel like that's going to have to go to a team that's really just worried about their future and not really caring about the present because he's going to probably end up being one of those that are a veteran and they're still pretty decent, but, he's not going to be as high as he could have been. Bradley Beal, I feel like, the Bulls, that's a good fit with him. I mean, beside DeMar.
Yeah, both of those.
Yeah. Lonzo, I don't know what they're doing with Lonzo. He's still injured. They say it's not even looking good for Lonzo right now. So I don't know what they're going to do with Lonzo, but he still has Kobe White beside him. I mean,
I thought Kobe White was going to be good, like really good, but I don't know.
I mean, he has a few good stars around him. I mean, that'd be a good team for him to go to, the Bulls, and then Zach LaVine, going somewhere else. I mean, I don't blame Zach for that one. You know what I mean? It ain't like he's, getting peer pressured into it. It's just kind of like, you tried your best. You genuinely did. But for Bill, I feel like he should have got out of there when Wall did or around that time because, I mean, once you break up that duo, I mean, what are you really going to do with that team? You see what I'm saying? It was kind of known that, I mean, I know they got Westbrook for a point, but that's the decline of Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, Bill goes on last year about how he wants to stick with the Wizards. He thinks he can win with the Wizards, and then boom, next year, I want out. I want to trade. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I guess it's smart. He gets the contract, and now he's trying to force their hand to trade him. So, maybe if he gets traded somewhere else, he doesn't get as much money as what he has. But now he might be stuck. He might have to stay another year, and that's his fault. So, yeah, I don't know. The Bulls is a good shout. I mean, maybe. Levine's like, if y'all get another superstar, that I like, maybe he'll stay because him, DeMar, and somebody else would be, that'd be a good combo. It's just
it would be nasty because they have
DeMar's,
DeMar around forward, around power forward, small forward right now. Just I guess playing small
and they still
ball.
got Vucevic
Yeah.
or whatever, and he's probably a top 7 center, maybe 7. It might even be better than that, honestly, but. Yeah, he's still pretty good. He can shoot, so stretches the floor out. But
yeah,
all right, this wasn't on the list, so Dallas didn't make his list before this. I thought I was gonna have to do this solo, so I was trying to add as much as I could. But I have in here top 5 point guards NBA right now. People are gonna be mad that Ja Wick isn't on the list probably, but I have Steph Curry at 1, Damian Lillard 2, Trae Young 3, De'Aaron Fox 4, Luka 5. I mean, hate in the comments if you want. Y'all might say Luka should be higher. Y'all might say, I don't know. The top 2 to me, those are the top 2 point guards in the league, in my opinion. I don't really see. They just been doing it for so long. I can't put anyone over them. So 3 through 5, however you want to mix that up. I'm not really gonna argue with you, but I'm a Hawks fan, so I gotta have Trae over both those young bulls. But what do you think?
All right, yeah, Steph, Dame. Top 2. I'll agree with that. Trae, I don't hate Trae. I want everybody to know that. I mess with Trae pretty high. I do still have him in my top 5, probably at 5. De'Aaron went crazy this year. He did. He played good. Which
He played really good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He still played solid. Ever since he was drafted, honestly, he's been pretty good. And he would probably be number 6 for me. Luka would probably be 3. Luka is just a dog. He doesn't let anything get past him. He's just a smaller version of the Joker. I mean, he's just a killer on the court. He knows what he's doing. He just it's like everybody says. It's not about skill. It's not about any of that. It's a mental game. That's all basketball is, and he is the king of chess when it comes to basketball. I mean, but then skill. You could argue. I mean, here's my thing. You could argue, and I probably wouldn't put him up there, honestly, actually, so we can move a few of those down. Kyrie, you could argue Kyrie.
I wanted to put Kyrie on the list, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't even mind if Kyrie's 3, but just everything going on with him, he's kind of not really there every game.
Yeah.
I just couldn't put him above any of these guys. But skill-wise, obviously, he's top 3 if we're going off his skill, but I just couldn't put him on the list.
But that's what I was going to say. I don't know if I'd put him on the list just because of everything that surrounds him. Now, don't get me wrong. Never mind. That's a political take. So James Harden is probably another one you could put up there. I mean, he played great again. He's
if you consider him a point guard, which he kind of was more of a point guard this year, but I still kind of consider him shooting guard, so that's why I didn't even think about him as far as the list goes. But yeah, I can see that. I
mean, I hate that. I do hate that because you could say top 5 point guards ever, and that's not this list obviously, but top 5 point guards ever, and you would have to consider maybe LeBron because he did play point guard for a bit, and I hate having to switch positions like that.
Yeah, if somebody makes a point guard list, I'm never going to put LeBron in it because
you can't really count him as one, even though he was one at one point, and it's just it's just I hate that they put players at those positions and, they classify them as certain things. Yeah. Like James truly even, obviously on the Rockets, he was a shooting guard and, he truly is a shooting guard. I mean, but, they had him playing point guard this year. So, I mean, I would put him up there, but if this was just point guards, this looks good. I was going to say John Wick. Ja Morant. I mean, he's a killer too, obviously. But he just, with all the things surrounding him, I just feel like, if the NBA isn't wanting to represent him right now by suspending him for 25 games, we can't represent him on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was it 10 games that he got the first time, or I don't know how many he got, but I honestly thought it was going to be like half a season. So the fact that he got 25, I feel like he should be appreciative of the fact that he got 25. Now, people are going to argue he wasn't doing anything illegal, and I don't really want to get into any of that, but I mean, just not really setting a good example. All right, that's all I'm going to say. But Ja Wick, I was going to say it again. Ja Morant, he's obviously very, very talented. He's probably out of this list. Him and Curry, as far as watching the players play, they're probably the most entertaining out of anyone on this list. But I mean, just if he gets it together, gets on the right path, he definitely could be on this list. And you could argue it. So I'm not, if you put him on the list, I'm not mad at it, but that's my list. I'm sticking to it. So moving on. Now we're more into NFL. I'm just going to go with what the card says, but we're on Dalvin Cook getting cut and his ties with Miami. I think he posted an Instagram post with one of the Miami players, or the fact that he was in Miami. I can't remember exactly what it was. I want to say it was with one of the Miami players. But his wants, he said he wants a winning team. He wants to be the starter and be valued. Wants closer to $10 million than $5 million a year. And the Vikings cut Dalvin in order to start Alexander Mattison, who I think is only making like $7 million a year. I think he's on like a 2-year contract. So I don't think Madison's obviously not on the level as Cook, but he is a little bit younger, and he can probably still produce for him. And my own little note here is I think they're preparing for Justin Jefferson's contract. He's going to want a lot of money. So cutting Dalvin, that's going to give him some money to play with. So I think that's more of the reason. Like, more running backs after their first contract seem to go downhill. I mean, the teams just work them to death, and then, they don't have legs anymore. So that's really what I think it is. They're trying to prepare for, having to pay Justin Jefferson. And what I expect is him to have a little bit more than – I think he's going to get a 4-year deal for somebody, and Miles Sanders got a deal for around $26 million. So I think his deal is probably going to be a little bit more than Miles Sanders, but I feel like it'll be around that. And then as far as teams that I think he might go to, obviously he has ties with Miami, so Dolphins I feel like is probably everyone's number one. But I also have Bills, Ravens on here. Him and Lamar would be, fun to watch. I feel like that would be a good team for him. Bills, they don't really have a solidified, superstar or really a solidified running back. They're kind of just running back by committee. So I think him going to either one of those teams would really help him out, probably push them over the edge. So, and he's only 27, so I feel like he's got another 3 to 4 years in him. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Well, yeah, he'd definitely, like he was saying, get a lot more than Miles Sanders. I mean, don't get me wrong, Miles Sanders all-pro, and he definitely deserves what he got. But,
Yep.
he'd definitely get a little bit more than that. I mean, it is Dalvin Cook about to cook, you know what I mean? But I just feel like the Ravens is a good fit. It wasn't on my list, but now that I'm thinking about it, J.K. Dobbins, like I said before, just the injuries. I'm sorry, Cameron. Just the injuries.
He's good. J.K.'s good.
Yeah, it's just like, he's out every so often. They do need a starter. He would start even over J.K., even though J.K. is that good. I just, I Ravens is a good pick. My picks, one of them isn't a realistic pick because they literally just got rid of Zeke. But Cowboys with Cook, I mean, they already got stars all over their offense, stars all over their defense. Cowboys with Cook would be just monstrous. But,
Monstrous.
just to have them
that definitely makes sense. I didn't think about the Cowboys, but
Cowboys would Cook, kind of play like they did last year. That with Pollard taking snaps, Zeke taking snaps, and being more of a power back on the third down conversions, stuff like that.
yeah.
Other one,
Pollard's on my top 10, so
the other one is the Jets, and here's why I say that, because they realistically are going to be a winning team.
Yeah.
They do have stars building around that team right now. They are building up their team.
I don't know about the Jets because I think Who's their running back right now?
They got Breece Hall right now.
Yeah, Breece Hall. And
but he just came from injury.
Yeah, but I think he still played. I think didn't he still have like 1,000 yards or something? Or am I thinking of?
Oh yeah,
somebody else?
he still yes he did he still went crazy. He's just injured, and you don't know where that's going to lead to. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know if the Jets are willing to take kind of that initiative to say, okay, well, let's go ahead and sign Cook, and not even know what's really going to happen with Hall, because Hall might take that the wrong way and be like, hey man, I'm still over here.
And that's the only thing about these teams is like Dalvin Cook said he wants to be the starter, so it's. I mean, if you got a young running back in there, it's like you don't want to piss them off. So where do you really go with that? That's why I was surprised the Falcons drafted a running back with Algier playing as well as he did. He cracked 1,000 yards and had like 50, 60 less rushing attempts than a lot of the guys that made 1,000 barely. So he played really, really well. I'm excited for him and Robinson, but yeah. So he played all 17 games. I don't know. As I was looking at this, I'm like, they did make the playoffs, so maybe he played 17 games and he didn't play the whole regular season, and they're counting the playoff games into the 17 games. So I don't know 100% about that, but I know he had 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards, and in 2023 he had 1,173 yards, 8 touchdowns, and averaged 4.5, which is what you want in a running back. 4.5 to 5 yards is great. 8 touchdowns, it's pretty solid, and 1,200 yards. So I know there's a lot of talk of just bringing in running backs out of the draft. You don't really got to keep a running back for long. Use them for the 4 years that you get them, out of the draft, and then just draft a new one. That's kind of where the league is going towards, and it sucks for the running backs because they just get used and abused and then thrown to the wayside, which I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, yeah, but I mean, they made 20 mil. I mean, I'd go out there and suit up and run through the hole for 20 mil.
I mean, yeah, 20 mil.
Like, I get it, but I was also saying, like, it's like working a job. I had a good way of saying this, but more of what I'm trying to say is it's like all these other players, they're like the least paid position in football probably as far as getting new contracts. Like a receiver, they're going to get probably 40 mil than what that running back got. Quarterback, I mean, you already know how much they're making. Edge rushers, linemen, D linemen, you can go down the list. Obviously, fullback and kicker are probably making a lot less.
Yeah.
But they're not doing what the running backs are doing. They're not getting hit. They're not getting in car crashes every play. So I get they're making 20 mil, and that's enough for them to live the rest of their life. But, I mean, on the same token, it's like these guys are putting it all out there. They're getting the ball more than any receiver is getting the ball. Mm-hmm. Receiver might get 10 receptions a game. This running back's getting 30 carries a game. Like, they're doing it all, and there's a place in my heart that's like, man, these running backs are just getting abused out there, and then they just let them go after 4 years. It's not like they're not producing. Like, these guys are still producing, and then they're just drafting somebody else and putting them over them. So, I mean, I don't know. They're still making a lot of money, so I can see both sides of it, but I just think it's a little – I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but all I'm trying to say is I think it's wrong. But what can you do about it? They made a lot of money. So moving on to Saquon, skips a mandatory minicamp, and he actually came out and said he doesn't rule out sitting out the whole season, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if he sits out the whole season because I know with the Ridley thing he got suspended for a whole year, and they didn't have to pay the team didn't have to pay his contract, and then because they didn't have to pay his contract, he was still on contract for another year when he got unsuspended. So I don't know if, say Saquon sits out, even though he's only got a year left, if they'll just kind of void that year and he's still going to be on contract next year for whatever he was supposed to make. Obviously, he's going to get a lot of fines tagged on to him by the team and the NFL for missing minicamps and mandatory minicamps. But I mean, 26, he had his best season last year, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.5 average. I think he deserves a payday. Obviously, he had the ACL tears and stuff, and you might say he's not going to be the same after that, but he just proved he could come back and do it at a high level, and the Giants need him. I mean, he's a key piece to their offense. You got Danny Dimes at quarterback, and he's not really cutting it. So if you're going to keep Daniel Jones, you got to build a team around him, and Saquon's that guy. I think he deserves the money.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm going to be honest. That team is going to be scared without Saquon. They'll give him his money, whatever he wants.
Yeah, and they just got Waller, right? So, I mean, They need to pay the man because they need full force.
Yeah.
They need everybody they can get next year.
I feel like he's just kind of, just throwing that out there like, hey, I deserve to be here too. I understand the whole, getting injured thing. He is pretty young. So to get injured at that young age, but I mean, we're at the day and age now. I mean, used to, people would get ACL injuries, MCL injuries, and they would never come back the same. You see people like KD, you see people like Paul George get a leg broken in half, and he had his best season with the Thunder. I mean, it's just like, nowadays people do come back and they are pretty good. I feel like Saquon will get a deal done. I feel like this is just kind of one of those things, kind of like Kyler. Kind of like, I'm just going to unfollow everyone, do whatever I want to, and then, they'll pay me my money. They'll do exactly what I want. Especially with a team like that, I couldn't see them getting rid of, their star player. He's one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, if Christian McCaffrey, you know what I mean, he was injured when he played for the Panthers, came back, still was kind of a little wonky, and then turned around and came to the 49ers, just killed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was awesome.
So, I mean, it's just all about your system around you. It's all about everything like that. As long as they provide him exactly what he needs, he'll be good. That's truly how I feel.
Yeah, he deserves the money, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through all these running backs and be like, they deserve the money, they deserve the money, they deserve the money. But they do. They do. This Austin Eckler one is blowing my mind how they're not giving him an extension. This one irritates me more than any other ones on the list because he is their offense, all right? I mean, receiving yards, receiving 107 receptions, 722 yards, 5 touchdowns, rushing 200 carries, 915 yards, 13 touchdowns. He might be your best receiver and your best running back at the same time. Like Keenan Allen going through all the injuries, Mike Williams kind of the same thing, going through some injuries. He's their offense, man. Justin Herbert's amazing. I think he's really, really good. I think he's only going to get better. But not giving him an extension, and if you let him walk next year, I think you're going to regret it. He is 28, so 4 years, that would get him to 32 years old. But he didn't really – I don't think he really played his first 2 years. I think he came in and he was kind of punt return and special teams. So I don't think he's really been used up like, some of the younger receivers. So, yeah, he's 28, but I still feel like he's kind of got fresh legs. So – I mean, a running back that can do that out of the backfield, catch the ball, and run like he does with aggression, I mean, I think he deserves the money. I think they'll get it done. But I don't know. It's kind of disrespectful that, he's doing not this much for the team and they're not. And I don't even think he's wanting big money. I think he's just wanting a normal. He seems from the interviews that I've seen him, he seems like a good dude. So. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they're not giving him the extension.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I had Eckler in fantasy. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. I don't remember which one it was. He's a killer, dude. I mean, fantasy, not fantasy, regardless, he's a killer. He's my biggest thing for him right now is, or not him, but the team right now is. I mean, you have Bosa, you have Khalil, you have these dudes on your defense. You have these dudes.
Yeah,
kind of on your offense. I mean, you have, like he said, Mike Williams and Allen, and I mean, with injuries and everything like that, you have to have another star there. He is absolutely that star that they need. I'm hearing a few things that I've heard is Herbert might not come back. People are thinking Herbert might not come back whenever his thing goes up.
I don't really love the Chargers, so if he goes somewhere else, he's one of my favorite to watch. So I hope he does go somewhere else. But
yeah, and if he goes somewhere else, I mean, you're losing your whole team. I mean, you got defense still, but the defense does win championships. But if you can't score, that defense can only hold up so much. Truly.
I mean, they're the one. Didn't they have a 35-point lead or something crazy in the playoffs and lost? Or something?
Oh yeah, maybe
it was the last season of the. I can't remember. Maybe it was the last season of the regular season. I think it was Raiders versus Chargers, and it was to be in the playoffs, and I think they choked it. I can't remember exactly, but I just know they choked a big lead, more than Nard 28-3, but obviously it wasn't in the Super Bowl. But, yeah, he deserves the money, man.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely does. I mean, if you're getting rid of players like that and or if you're having the opportunity to, keep these players and, you have a star in a running back. I mean, it's hard for some teams to get stars like that and for you to just kind of just not really care about a star like that, especially when your offense is already dragging a little bit and having the hopes of, your future quarterback, your young quarterback may leave. I mean, you gotta do some things. You definitely have to sign him back. Definitely give him his money. Do everything you can for him. Get him another receiver to maybe cut, or trade off Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was like rumored that they were trying to trade him, or they were probably even going to cut him because of cap reasons.
Yeah, D-Hop would be a good addition. Now that I think about it.
So I mean, this year I feel like if they're in such cap casualties, cap problems right now, then they probably can't do much to help him. So, I mean, it's going to be a thing of can they, make it through this year and do well and, make Herbert happy next year with the money that they're probably going to have. But, yeah, they got a lot of big contracts on it, on the team. So, they don't got a lot of wiggle room right now. But moving on, Josh Jacobs falling into the same list. I mean, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. I actually wrote yards on that too. But, yeah, nearly 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 yards per carry. I mean, he did have 340 carries. I mean, he led the league in carries, so he should lead the league in yards. But like I said, they're using and abusing him. Pay the man, all right? He's out here carrying the ball 340 times. That's like Derrick Henry type stuff with the Titans. So I think he deserves the money if you're going to, run him into the ground like that. But that's just me.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, Josh Jacobs, he's another one of those running backs that I don't know if you would call him top 5, but he definitely is a good top 15, top 10 running back. I definitely love to have him on, the Cardinals, even though we have good old Connor, we have good old Benjamin. He'd be a great addition. I don't know. It's just the Raiders, there's so many people that they could end up picking up. You know what I mean? Zeke, that could be a good addition for them. Maybe they're looking into something like that. Maybe they're looking into something like Cook. Maybe they see some things like that, and they're like, you know what? Which, I mean, Cook, if he's wanting a winning team, I don't know if the Raiders is his pick of the litter. But,
Adams comes there. Carr's gone now. They don't have a quarterback. Jared Stidham or whatever played all right. If they let Jacobs go or they don't pay him, it's like the team's going downhill. I mean, I don't – it's just I feel like they're going to rebuild mode. Don't be surprised if Adams isn't there next year. I think he'll play this year and then he might be gone. So Raiders are just going downhill in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. Odell Beckham Jr. fit with the Ravens, so he's set to be the number 1 receiver. Obviously, they drafted Zay Flowers. They got Bateman still there. And I had a projection for his stat line. I think he's going to break 1,000 yards, so I got 1,087 yards and 7 touchdowns. I think that's fair. And he'll be a good mentor to Zay Flowers and Bateman. So I feel like, obviously Lamar wanted him, so that's why they brought him in. But I also think he can be a good mentor to those guys. So I think the fit will be good. I just don't know if he's going to be the number 1. 2 ACL tears, and I don't know if it was in the same leg. I think it was. That's rough, man. That's rough. We see Clay. I mean, he's somewhat back, but he's not the same,
Yeah. So. I mean, Odell, he's, on any other team, a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. He, wide receiver 1, he could have done it back in the past. I just don't. I mean, he was going off in the Super Bowl before he got an injury. I mean, I believe he got a touchdown, that first touchdown, actually, in that Super Bowl. And he was catching them, and then he just got injured. I don't remember if it was non-contact or not, but got injured, and that was a tough case. Ever since then, he ain't stepped on the football field for a team. I just feel like, with Zay Flowers coming in, everybody has high hopes for him. I feel like you kind of said, he'll, teach him a little bit things, being, kind of a veteran. I guess you would call him a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's about 9 years, 10 years, something like that. But, yeah, I mean, wait, no, I think 2016, 2015, I don't know. I'm horrible at math. But, so, yeah, he just I see him being good. I don't know for 1,000 yards good. I don't know if he'll even get those kind of targets. I know he'll be a duo with Lamar. I know they'll have that connection. They do have that friendship. You've seen it online. But 1,000 yards, I kind of see him maybe going for 800, maybe 5 touchdowns, something like that. He still is. He's still got it in him, just like I believe Antonio Brown still got it in him. Maybe not mentally. No, Antonio Brown still got it done. Mentally, maybe not, but Antonio Brown is still that guy, all right? The problem with the Buccaneers, all right, the problem with the Buccaneers and him, him and Brady, they were a good fit. I just don't believe he got as many targets as he was thinking he would get.
Say he's a few crayons out of the. I don't know how the saying goes, but he's missing a few. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Crazy. I mean, if you're a team that wants a good wide receiver, I mean, there he is. He just got to deal with his mental problems.
I don't think the NFL let him back.
Yeah, they won't. But I mean, if I had a football league, I'm signing him first thing. I mean, I'm not going to be in control of him, but I'm signing him. I mean, I think he's still got it.
Anyway, we'll move on. We'll get through this quick. But all right, let's move on. Top 10 running backs. So this is my list. Dallas might have a little bit, a different thing to say, but I got Derrick Henry 1, Nick Chubb 2. I do think those are interchangeable. Christian McCaffrey 3. I just don't want to move him higher, kind of the injury problems. But he did play really well in the playoffs. But Jonathan Taylor 4, Josh Jacobs, not Josh Jones. I'm thinking of the safety. Josh Jacobs at 5, Austin Eckler 6, Aaron Jones 7, Saquon 8, Tony Pollard 9, Dalvin Cook 10. I think that's a solid list. Like I said, you might be able to move a couple around, but I'm good with that list.
I'm fine. The list is fair. It is fair. King Henry, you do have to put him at 1. He is a beast. He is solid. He is the best running back in the league. I mean, I know he's had his injury and all that other stuff, but that don't mean anything. I mean, we've seen plenty of people come back from injury. Nick Chubb, he's always stayed solid since he was drafted. And then he has Kareem Hunt with him. I mean, that was perfect of that team to do that. Christian McCaffrey, I did not see that coming this season. No, not the top 10. I saw that coming, but I did not see that coming this season. I definitely was thinking that the injury stopped him. I mean, there's not a lot of people.
I was like, he might contribute a little bit, but
yeah,
I don't know how
There's
much.
not a lot of people I do that to, it ain't nothing against him. I just didn't feel like he would. Jonathan Taylor 4, that's good. I feel like that.
That boy's different.
Josh Jacobs. I would have to move him down the list just a little bit. It's not that he's bad. I do believe in Josh Jacobs. Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler, I feel like those two could be switched out a little bit. Saquon is a beast. I'll probably put Dalvin Cook up a little bit. Tony Pollard, I feel like, honestly, he'd be top 4 if he got as many snaps, if he was the first string last year, which I know – him and Zeke traded out and everything like that. But I feel like, if they would have used him, I feel like they progressed him a good way, letting Zeke do that and train him a little bit.
I feel like that's where the league is moving, 2 backs, switching them in and out. That way you're not destroying them. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, fair list. Like I said, a couple of them could move in and out, move up or down. Jonathan Taylor, if you ask me personally, I wanted to put him top 3. Maybe even top 2, because I just feel like he has that potential. And his rookie year, he showed he was dominant. And then obviously he had the injury, but I still think he's that dude. I think he'll come back from it. It wasn't an ACL; it was just some kind of ankle injury that he had to get surgery on. So it wasn't an ACL. So I think he'll come back and be better. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like the running back list is pretty fair. Jonathan Taylor, like you were saying, he's a beast. I couldn't put him top 3 right now just because I feel like at the start of the season I would have told you he's top 3.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put Christian McCaffrey up. I'd probably put him around 8, something like that. I mean, he's always been good, but the injury just had my doubts in him, and he proved me wrong. I mean, and I love to see it. I love to see him succeed, even if I don't like players like Devin Booker. Even if I don't like him, seeing him succeed, I can't prey on another man's failure. There is one thing I want to talk about, though, just to the camera. Just one thing that I forgot to ask Joey about. Here's one thing I can't stand, though. And I understand he is a great, great shooting big. I do understand that. But I am tired of seeing this stuff about Cat on everything that I look on. I look on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat.
You did the podcast with Paul George.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand the man. I can't. And I can't stand I'm the best center, I'm the best shooting center ever, like blah blah, bro,
He
bro.
might be.
And then I saw something, I don't remember who said it, saying he's the best center in the. I think it was Pat Bev saying
He might be the most. He's definitely top 3 most skilled. Him, Joel, and Jokic are top 3 as far as how fluid they are. Jokic ain't fluid at all, but top 3, they're definitely top 3. I wouldn't put him 1.
Yeah, but that's the thing is Pat Bev saying Cat is number 1 best center in the league. Best center? No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. He is skilled. Don't get me wrong, and he is one of the greatest shooting bigs ever. He is. He is.
Yeah.
But you can't say he's the best shooting big of all time. You can't.
Now, if
say
we're counting
that yet.
power forwards, no.
Yeah, you can't. You can't say that yet. I mean, there's
Duncan,
there's Mark
Dirk,
Gasol. I mean,
you're not
there's
over
just other people that you could think about, and it's just like.
He's real animated about this.
Yeah, Cat it just irritates me seeing things like this. It's just not really like this, but Aaron Gordon, I wasn't really a big fan of when Aaron Gordon said that thing about I'm gonna tell my grandkids that I locked up everybody in the league. Yeah, you played good defense. Yeah, your team did stop them. Yeah,
You
y'all
got to
did
be
beat 'em.
confident.
Yeah, it's certain people's confidence, like Trey Young's when he did the Ice Trey thing. I mess with that. But there's certain things that it just gets on my nerves. And saying I locked up the best ones in the league, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. Come on. It was one playoff series.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be serious. If you go one-on-one with LeBron, LeBron's spanking you. LeBron is spanking you. You know it. I mean, I know it. You go one-on-one with Jimmy, Jimmy's spanking you. I mean, Aaron's probably going to put up some points on Jimmy, but
Yeah.
he's spanking you. I mean, let's calm down. But that's all I had to say about my feelings. I was just getting a little irritated about the situation with Cat. He is a great center. Don't get me wrong. He seems like a cool dude. You know, plays video games, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Seems like he vibes. But you know, to brag and boast, and you know, you don't even have people. You know, like. You have people take jabs like Michael Jordan, LeBron, and them say, "Oh, I'm the greatest." Sometimes they'll like make a little joke out of it.
Yeah.
But when you don't have them bloating, "Oh, I'm the greatest of all time," and then you have Cat out of all people coming out of here saying, "I'm the greatest I'm the greatest shooting center of all time." Like,
It's a little bold.
Yeah, if that's the situation, maybe you should be in the finals, bud. Maybe you should be in the playoffs, bud. I mean, let's talk about this. But I don't know.
Dallas was trying to reach that hour, baby.
Yeah, but that's all I had to say about
But
it.
yeah, we'll leave y'all with that thought. We're going to get on out of here, play some ball, catch you guys in the next episode of We Call Bank. Deuces.